Hey Keith, where you been? Are you okay? No, I'm okay. Just a little cup of COVID. Good evening, everybody. Criminal defense attorney Keith Stickley here. I want to welcome you back to my channel. I know it's been quite some time since we sat down and had a little chat, and I am back. Everything is okay. I was kind of rough and really wanted to make some content for you guys in the last week and a half because there's been a lot of fun stuff going on. But you know, it is what it is. These are the times that we live in, so I had to take a little bit of break. I still sound a little funny. Well, not in the funny ha-ha way, I guess, but a little bit nasally, but I'm doing 98% better, and I'm sort of back in the saddle, and it's great to be back with all of you. Now, I'm coming to you guys from sort of my makeshift office where I've been hanging out the last few days, getting caught up on things. And, you know, it's just part of what you have to do right now to keep everybody safe. I have to tell you, I've been absolutely blown away by the amount of people who have reached out through various forms, be it YouTube, Facebook, email, because obviously I haven't been around a whole lot, and I really, really appreciate that. That means a ton. Everything is going to be absolutely fine. Family's healthy, everybody's good. And I also wanted to mention the fact that, you know, I would love to make just tons and tons of content and spill it out there because you guys ask so many phenomenal questions about the legal system and people's rights, being a defense attorney, and even some of the crazy stuff that I do, like with Stickley Family Farms and in the entertainment world. And the fact of the matter is, I have not been able to put together as much content as I may have liked because I am kind of busy. Obviously, my number one priority is as a public defender. That takes up, quite frankly, the majority of my time. But in addition to that, I do also have a private law firm, and I work with somebody who is just absolutely killing it, doing an absolutely wonderful job in the Metro Detroit area, helping us out with stuff. And, you know, in addition, we're running a family farm and an agritourism type thing, you know, getting all that kind of stuff going. And I also still have one leg in the entertainment world, of which I do quite a bit for. Last week, going on 2 weeks now, I guess, we're at a convention, and I was actually speaking on COVID, ironically enough, to the Michigan Association of Fairs and Events regarding COVID and force majeure and how people are making sort of emergency preparations on both the fair part and the carnival part to keep everybody safe, free from liability as much as possible, and make sure contracts move smoothly as far as those things go. It's the third or fourth time I've been asked to speak at a conference like that, and it was a really productive, great session with a lot of great questions and answers. The Supreme Court just came out with some mandates. I'm sorry, not mandates, but struck down some compelling mandates as far as employment and vaccine mandates go. That was really affecting some of both the employers and the fairs as far as volunteers and stuff that I work with quite a bit. So that was really interesting. And pretty much most of my presentations had to be changed on the fly because a lot of those things came down the day I checked into the hotel for those conferences. Also recently spent some time sitting down with the Circus Producers Association, and they're having a lot of the same kind of issues as far as, you know, how to make sure that everybody's protected and covered both contractually and otherwise when it comes to various pandemic related things. This is an entirely new world, and really since World War II, event producers, entertainment producers have not had to deal with this kind of issue and these kind of force majeure events, if you will, at all. So we're sort of in a brave new world. We're figuring it all out together and making sure that it works for both audiences and producers and venues to make sure everything goes as smoothly and as safely as possible. But quite frankly, you can imagine with all that stuff going on, it's taken away a little bit of time that I would have to create a bunch more content. And, well, quite frankly, you throw COVID in the mix and things get delayed. But I do care about y'all, and I really want to delve into these topics because it's a whole heck of a lot of fun. But you know, that, and then you add my family in, who's absolutely wonderful and a huge support. And I'm kind of a busy guy, so I do what I can. I've got more cases trying to come in than I can take, unfortunately. But I have a lot of folks that I can send stuff off to as well, who are very competent and just great attorneys. So we're working to make a difference, and I think we're doing that. So I have, however, been working on some really exciting segments that I think you guys are going to get a huge kick out of. They're quite entertaining, about involving some entertainment folks that you all, I guarantee, know about, and I think many of you will find quite interesting. And I can't wait to share what I can about the topic. Speaking of all things crazy in entertainment as an attorney, there's something that I've been thinking about a lot actually while I've been sort of isolated from the world and various topics and things that have been brought up amongst colleagues and such. And that is the reminder that, prior to me becoming an attorney, I was obviously a full-time entertainer. And along with that, you get asked to do various things, various funny things. Commentary, comments. Some of you may or may not know, I actually was one of the fashion, believe it or not, fashion commentators, kind of color commentators for Life and Style magazine. It was one of those magazines that I think they're still printing, that you find in all these supermarket aisles, when you're checking out. And for a lot of years, I would actually sort of poke fun of or give commentary on various celebrities' dress, or if somebody was seen in public or at a special event, wearing a certain something that was outlandish, they would tap myself and a panel of other comedians as well for some commentary and pithiness and kind of snarkiness. And as an entertainer, I have to tell you, it's a heck of a lot of fun, right? It's kind of easy to do. These people make themselves sort of easy targets, and bottom line, it can sort of be hilarious. That being said, making the transition from entertainer to attorney has been challenging in some respects, probably for me more than a lot of other people. Now, I do think being an entertainer can give an attorney certain advantages, especially when it comes to litigation and trial work. Sometimes it's difficult to remind ourselves that, the people that we are representing, they're not characters. Now, court is very theatrical. There's a lot of theatrics that go into court, and because of that, it's difficult to remember how deeply affected some people get with the decisions that we make and the representation that we offer. You inject a healthy dose of the internet today, along with the public's complete thirst for reality television, and you end up with a really interesting situation when it comes to the court system. Of course, the advent of Zoom courts, which has been in some circles quite controversial, and I totally understand why, has given the public an amount of access that they've never before seen. Jerry Springer, of all people, has jumped into the courtroom TV drama game. And in fact, a good friend of mine was just on with another friend of his in a magic-related matter. One of the craziest, most ridiculous things that I've ever seen. It does prove the point that the public is hungry. They're thirsty for courtroom drama. And when we are looking at this kind of stuff from a bird's eye view, from the view of a camera installed in a courtroom, it's really difficult sometimes to remember that this is real life, and these aren't characters that just can be satirized or made fun of. It makes me sit back and reflect and wonder, was I really adding anything to the situation by injecting, sarcasm as opposed to more nuts and bolts critique? Obviously, being extreme and zany and whatever can result in better ratings. But what is the real purpose of what we're doing here? At least what I want to do. And I guess that's what I've sort of been examining. Far and away, I guess I truly believe that what we are doing is good, important work, especially from my side as a criminal defense attorney. And I can only imagine how difficult and scary it is when somebody comes up to into the legal system, and they don't really know who to trust or who to look to. At the same token, we don't know what their needs are, what's really going on in their life, what their mental condition or capacity is. Are they truly competent? Are they just being a rabble-rouser? And it's really easy, and I admit I've fallen in the trap in the past, to simply pick out and pick on attributes that absolutely have nothing to do with what they're being accused of or what is actually going on. And if I think about that, and I set that against the backdrop of some of my interests that include things like mass market media and digital advertising and content production, of which I've done for quite some time. There's hundreds of videos on law stuff that I've produced, going back years. I've always been sort of a big proponent and follower of a guy some of you may or may not know, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And Gary has always been a huge proponent of showing empathy and the importance of winning, but at the same time being humble and truly caring about the other people around you in your world that you're dealing with. And I think that's really hard to grasp sometimes as an attorney. But the more I think about it, the more I realize how absolutely important that is. It's probably in some respects a lot easier to just be a pit bull killer and go out there and argue and rah 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 and insult people that you don't agree with or that are driving you crazy. But it takes a different level of dedication sometimes to really see past the chaff, the flack, if you will, just the shiny veneer that today's modern media likes to put on things, to really get to the heart of the problem, which in essence is what we're trying to do, is what I'm trying to do as a criminal defense attorney. And that's twofold. One, protect somebody's constitutional rights. And two, if their rights have been protected and they've made decisions that are absolutely terrible for them, help them get back on the right track. Now, that might be more of a criminal justice line, but I can't help but want people that I work with to succeed, regardless of how absolutely rotten or despicable that they might be. Now, succeeding doesn't obviously mean, walking as free as a jaybird. I know some of my haters online like to say things, you're just in it for the money, all the lawyers, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, if you want to think that, that's fine. I'm not going to change your mind. But it's not true. So, we want to live in a society where people's rights are respected and they also have a shot at redemption. There's nothing cooler than being able to walk into a hearing, be it a sentencing review or an expungement hearing. I have a couple coming up actually this week. I'm totally pumped about, and being able to tell the system, see, I told you so. This one would make it through. This is why we worked out this HIDed Homes Youth Training Act deal. This is why we did a delayed sentence, because this person, changed your life, made a change, and is now a productive member of society. That's the coolest. So as I proceed, making content here and there and really getting into some of the issues, both serious and the really fun stuff that I'm into, be it stuff out at the family farm and the train and everything else. It's just things I'm going to try to keep in mind and do a little bit better on. And I hope that it gives everybody watching this something to think about when you're sitting there and watching these people maybe in court and just kind of lambasting them. Now I know some of the stuff's ridiculous, right? I mean, you just can't help it. But these are human beings, and so often you only see that little snip of what's going on. Maybe you don't know their past experiences or why they would, be interested in going all, sov sit or whatever. But it is certainly giving us an interesting and fascinating view of humanity and the criminal justice system and how it continually improves, or at least is supposed to continually improve under our system of laws. And it's an honor to be part of that. And I hope some of that transparency and openness, that open accessibility can continue, because I think even along with all of the inconveniences and sometimes embarrassing moments and people who maybe use that for personal gain over trying to really push the ball of justice forward, I think there's real value in that. I think there's a lot that you can learn, and I think that only makes our society a more open and thoughtful place where we continue to improve in this place that we live, which is sort of it's the grand experiment. It's the most amazing place on earth. That's it for the little temporary fireside chat. I want to thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. Feel free to continue asking questions down below. I am going to make a serious effort to call some of the best questions about being a criminal defense attorney and such that people leave below, and start answering those on a sort of regular basis when my schedule allows, because I'm absolutely blown away by how thought-provoking and interesting some of these questions are, and even questions around the world that come in, and they're really good. And I learn a lot too when I don't know the answer, especially on some of this foreign stuff. I try to look it up to sort of get a feel of what else is going on there. So keep them coming, guys. Again, I thank you so much for all your kind thoughts and comments and words. It really does mean a lot. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you real soon, and stay tuned because we're going to have a lot of fun.